guys, so welcome to another week of WoW Weekly with Myst. And for this week, we have Mythics will be the weekly. The PvP brawl is South Shore versus Terran Mill. Dark Moon Fair has started up, so you have that all the way to like Sunday night. Usually ends like midnight Sunday morning. And then the final event we have is Love is in the Air. And they've actually announced a change with Love is in the Air. So for those that are still going after the mount, the big love rocket, which has been renamed to the X45 Heartbreaker, the change they put in is that the first attempt of the day will be an increased drop chance. Who knows what this increase actually is? They said the same thing with the world boss mounts. And while, yes, we're at least looting those now, the increase wasn't like this huge increase. Like, typically if you hear someone say things have been greatly increased, you expect to loot it on your next kill, more or less, right? So who knows? This is still a time limited event. But I anticipate a lot more people will have the Love Rocket this year. I personally, there's been like some comments of, well, what's the point of running your alts? As someone who has this mount and also someone who farmed it for like 10 plus years before getting it, I say go in with those alts. Like, yes, tomorrow maybe there's a huge chance you get it on your first attempt, but if you don't want to miss out on this mount, do all your attempts and just hope for that day. Like, whatever worst case scenario, you wasted 2 weeks, but you'd have the mount. I personally suggest that because I did loot it before this change came in. So it is possible to loot it on that horrific 0.03% drop chance. And I'd say more so if you are a person who's been farming it for, many, many years already. Like, yeah, I wouldn't stop running your alts through it. Yeah. So yeah, Love is in the Air is running already. It started this morning. And I am so happy that I don't have to worry about that mount. I thought about doing it on Classic, and then I'm like, you know what? No. For starters, I don't have the alt squad I have on retail over on Classic. And second, I already have it. I don't want to farm, like I'm pretty sure that change doesn't apply to Classic. So, yeah, it's just retail. So, yeah, but I do think I want to hop over to Classic to do the Love is in the Air achievements because it's the first year you're able to obtain the achievements for Love is in the Air over there. So yeah, I would like to do that. So that's my plan this week is just to try to knock out those achievements on the Classic side of things. Happy farming. You're a love rocket, guys. I hope you get it. So this past week, you were able to look at the trading post and work on that. I have an upcoming video that I'll be posting sometime this week. I'm not sure when. I'm aiming for tomorrow, but we'll see. But it's me, my progression through the trading post and what I bought and all that. So yeah, but I thought for this news video we'd just go over it briefly. So the trading post had a lot of bugs this past week. I almost didn't even want to do it this week, but then I caved and I'm like, you know what, I just want it out of the way. And so with that said, first thing I'm gonna say, super easy. You can get this done like in the same day. Yeah. And while I'm currently screenshotting some of the easiest tasks you can do to, help you along this journey, I would just like to say, how much do we love that Zanzil slow potion? I love that that shit kills you in a week because most people would forget they drank it by then and they'll just die and then they'll be like, "What the fuck? What happened? What killed me?" I love it. But definitely a nice easy 50 pointer right there. Which I thought was weird because, like, all the other games that have had, like, a battle pass type system to it, for starters, they've been, like, every 3 months or something. It's always, like, a seasonal battle pass. So it's so weird that this is monthly. I think it would work better as, like, every 2 to 3 months. And then they could make the challenges tougher to drag you through. Yeah, I definitely do think that the tasks are too easy. You complete it too fast. And yeah, because a typical person, like, I don't know if they're worried that people are gonna miss out on it, but, like, you only have to log in once. And I feel like we don't need, like, so tough of tasks that it takes all month, but it could take, like, at least a few days, you know? That like, yeah, I don't know. But I guess it's better than them, capping you on a certain amount per day, whatever. It doesn't really affect me, but I thought it was interesting how easy the tasks were. So for those that haven't done it yet, um, you have your bar. When you first log in, because it's a new feature and all that, they're gonna give you like an instant 1,000 currency. Rumor is you won't always have the amount of currency that you got this month. So yeah, and then you can get another 1,000 for progressing through the thing. Ashadar is the mount that you get. I think Ashadar is beautiful. I really do like this mount. I wasn't expecting to like any trader post mount because I figured with it being a battle pass system that's free. Yeah, I just didn't think it would have like really nice mounts on it. But Ashadar is beautiful. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the gold version. So Ashadar has two different colors. When you're riding it during the day, it's gold, and when you're riding it during the evening, it's the white/silver. That usually happens. I noticed the color was changing around 9 p.m. So this is the list of items you can buy, and yeah, depending on what you're after, you could get a decent amount of stuff. And then, of course, you can freeze an item if you aren't able to purchase everything. That's gonna be me every month. Collectors really get the shaft with this. This system, while things will eventually cycle back through, this system is meant for a more casual player that doesn't buy everything and they just really buy what they really like. Yeah. It's not meant for like people like myself that just want to collect everything. Yeah. So unfortunately, there will be things you can't get. And it's also not even guaranteed that 900 would be the highest amount of currency. I'm predicting that there may be like a time here and there where we go to look at the trader's post and there's something on it that is worth more than what you can get in a month, to the point where you would need to actually bank currency in order to get it. Yay for the freeze, because if that ever happened, you could just freeze that item and be safe, right? But I do highly think that could be a potential thing that happens. So you have all of this month to knock that out, and yeah, like I said, it's very fast. Okay, so moving on to news. Cross Realm Mythic, a Vault of the Incarnates, will be available on February 14th. Very nice of them to do that for Valentine's Day. Speaking of Valentine's Day, we will also have Conquest and Valor Caps removed on that day. Also, there's a new item on the live servers that allows your Primal Chaos to be transferred to alts. The item is called the Satchel of Coalescing, and the use on it says open to gain 60 Primal Chaos. So it's a BOA item, and like they did in Shadowlands, you will pay more than you get. So you're gonna pay 80 Primal Chaos for your alt to get 60. Personally, I have never understood why they feel like we should be paying a fee to to send it to the alts. They did the same thing in Shadowlands, except for the end. I can't totally remember what item it was, but near the end of the expansion, there was an item where the amount it cost you was the amount your alts got. And I thought that was an amazing change. But I guess they only like that when the expansion is garbage and ending. There's also been a new Legion set recolor transmog. So for the cloth, the Highborn Scholar. So this one is a recolor of the Legion dungeon cloth armor. For the leather wearers, this is a green recolor of the PvP combat set for season 1 and 2 of Legion. For mail wearers, this set is a green and brown recolor of the PvP combat set for season 1 and 2 of Legion. And then for plate wearers, this set is a green and gold recolor of the PvP combat set for season 1 and 2 of Legion. Staying on topic of transmogs for a bit here, there is a new corrupted Verkal themed transmog. So the cloth one is the Ensemble Corrupted Rune Lords Regalia. The leather one is the Ensemble Valdir Scout Leathers. The male one is Ensemble Glorious Dragon Riders Mail. And the plate one is Ensemble Helajar Berserker Warplate. Okay, so last week I mentioned a couple of things that's going to be new with the Trowel of Style when it returns in March. There's been one more thing added to this, and that is the Trader's Bacorn, which is a hat, and you get it for free. So all you gotta do is participate in the Trowel of Style between March 20th and March 24th. I will, of course, remind you in March when it comes around. And yeah, so just do that, and you will get a free hat. On the topic of hats, there is another one. So Lord Walden's top hat is a cosmetic hat that you can get, and it is one of the easiest to obtain. So to get it, you will need to create a worgen and choose the Gilneas city. You're gonna just play through until you reach the quest called Betrayal at Tempest's Reach. And that quest will take you to the end of the storyline, and the hat is unrestricted, so yeah, you can use it by any character. Tomorrow for reset, there's gonna be some Guardian Druid buffs. So this is them on screen. Feel free to pause and read. Okay, so on to some 10.0.7 news. So first thing I thought we'd mention is that there is rumors that this patch will be soon. So yeah, we might actually get it really quick, which I guess would make sense because since they're doing like a major patch and then 2 mini patches and then like another major, uh realistically a season doesn't really last that long, like it's a few months generally. So yeah, I guess if there's going to be 2 minor patches, it makes sense that they kind of would come out fairly quickly together, one right after another more or less. So yeah, we could be looking at 10.0.7 being pretty much around the corner. Even in this picture, you can see that it does say spring on it. And spring does start on March 20th. If there's speculation right now that we'll get it soon, then chances are they might give it to us at the beginning of spring. So we could potentially have it at the end of March. So the first thing is that we will be returning to Forbidden Reach, and we're going to unlock some new dragon riding abilities. So there's going to be 2 new dragon riding traits. The aerial halt, which allows you to flap back and reduces your forward movement. And then there's also airborne recovery, which is going to activate aerial halt while affected by Thrill of the Skies, and it generates 1 vigor. 16 new customization manuscripts have been added to this patch, and you're gonna be able to put your dragon riding skills to the test in 6 new races. Dragon riding racing world quests have a new icon, and they fixed an issue where players spell visual effects such as like shell form and glyph of the stars for Moonkin were being applied on dragons while customizing in the transformation center. Also, you guys may remember the Legion artifact quest line, which was called Balance of Power. That quest line is gonna be account wide when this 10.0.7 releases. So basically, it will be unlocked for all your characters on your account, which means completing the quest line on one character will unlock the base tint from the Balance of Power quest line to all your alts. There's been 6 new Centaur dog mounts data mined. Another thing that will be occurring in the upcoming patch is that there's some new transmog ensembles, recipes, and achievements related to Old World Zul Gurub. I am very curious of the reward on that last one because, as you can see, it says unlocks ancient secrets within Zul Gurub. This feels like an event to me. I don't know if I'd go as far to say an anniversary event, but it would be cool as one because we literally haven't had a new anniversary event in years. They've just been reusing the same shit for the anniversaries. So it would be nice. So possible, but no matter what, whether it's an anniversary event or not, which is unconfirmed by the way, it does seem to be an event of some sort. So quite possible that while this is in the database for 10.0.7, it might not come out with 10.0.7. It might just be there to be ready for an event. There is a reference to Nax as well. So like there could be more old content, which would really be great because for a while, many of us have been kind of hoping for the old dungeons and raids that kind of become obsolete so fast and have more or less been obsolete for years, aside from like transmog and mount farming. We've been asking for like a facelift on those more or less. So yeah, it could either be related to maybe that finally being a change implemented in the game or an event. Time will tell on that one. Okay, so in the upcoming patch, we also have some new hair colors. So here's the female human hair colors and the male human hair colors. We also have some female orc hair colors and male orc hair colors. There's also 3 color variants for human and orc heritage armor sets. So the heritage armor set is called Lion's Heritage, and it comes in blue, red, and white. Okay, so this next thing that I'm going to mention might scare you a bit, because it might scream borrowed power, but there is a new system coming in, and it's called the Primordial Stone Gem system. These are all of the items involving it. So feel free to pause the screen, read through the different items and what they do. Yeah, there's quite a few people worried about a borrowed system here. I used to care about the borrowed system. I used to be one of those people that would be like, oh, borrowed system again. But now I just don't care, it's gonna leave at some point. You deal with it for a bit and then it's gone. Like, yeah, I'm so carefree with the borrowed system nowadays. I think I just got used to it, and yeah. In a sense, isn't a expansion kind of like a borrowed system? It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like dragon riding is a borrowed system. Like there's so many things that you may dislike and you may like. They're considered borrowed systems. So yeah, I stopped caring personally. You either choose to use it or you don't. The only people it really affects is, people, who need those items to, kill a mythic raid boss or something. But for most people, they don't give a shit. So one thing that I learned this past week that really intrigued me, and I think this is my favorite piece of news that I'm going to give you this week, but it is something called the I may be butchering this word, but it's the Zskera Vaults. The vaults is located at Morkit Islet, which is in Forbidden Reach. And basically, it's caught the attention of the Dragon Scale expedition. There's treasure-filled vaults that have many locked doors with puzzles behind them. And this is what intrigued me because I love puzzles. It's one of the biggest reasons why I like all these puzzle mounts, and like I would say Lucid Nightmare while the last part was kind of a bitch. Lucid Nightmare is like my favorite mount I ever went after, just because of all the different puzzles that were like involved and stuff. So I definitely love anytime they throw puzzles into the game. So the vaults is going to have a daily reset in which the rooms will change and all the doors will be locked once more. Different vaults are also generated per player with an almost procedural tone to them. So the entrance to the vaults is open all the time, but to unlock the door on each vault, you need to find a key. The key is called Zskera Vault Key, and you get it from completing activities in Forbidden Reach. So far, it's been confirmed that rares and forbidden chests scattered across Drakthir Evoker starting areas can drop the keys. Each key opens one door, which may contain chests, aggressive mobs, or puzzles that require other doors to be opened to find a possible solution. Experimentation seems to be the theme with the vaults. Many of the rooms located within the vaults seem to house forgotten experiments from Netharian. Netharians seem to love reading books, and there are some other experimentations like hollow aspects, a prototype Blingtron, and some potion mixing. So as for some rewards that you can get from this, so far what we know is, well, just a bit ago we talked about that borrowed system coming into play, the primordial stone gems. This seems to be the source, so it does look like you'd be going to Zskera Vaults to get those. And then there's also some toys. So we have the Hollow Viewer, the Lady of Dreams, which is a tribute to Ysera. And then the Scarlet Queen, which is a tribute to Alexstrasza. And then the Timeless one, which might be a misprint on the tooltip because it's literally exactly the same as the Scarlet Queen. There's 3 new battle pets. So there will be the Gilded Mecha Frog, the Cobalt, and Patos. And then there's also 2 achievements for opening the doors in the vaults. So there's Door to Door, which is to unlock 50 doors. And then Door Buster is to unlock 150 doors. The only worry here, of course, it's not a worry for me. I could care less. I actually am one of the only people that liked this place. You know, people might think that this is going to be like the new Torghast. I don't know about that. Like, yeah, there's some puzzles and, it does have a bit of a Torghast vibe to it. Me, I didn't mind Torghast, but I didn't force myself to do it all the time, every day. Hell, there was some weeks where I'd be like, I'm not gonna do Torghast this week. I'll do it next week. Like, that's the key. Don't force yourself to do something that you don't want to do that many times, and you'll never hate it. Like, yeah, I never had a hate for Torghast. Yeah, there was some weeks where I'm like, I don't feel like doing it. Hell, there's some weeks where I don't feel like going into a dungeon, so I don't. Like, you just don't force yourself to do content you don't like, and you'll remain happier in the long run. Okay, so that concludes the news. For me, my accomplishments and goals. My goal this week is to go do Love is in the Air on Classic. Yeah. Why I care, I don't know. I'm always like, I don't care about Classic. I've been there, I've done that. But then an event occurs and I'm like, you know what? I have that on retail. Why don't I go get it on Classic? Yeah, so that's my plan. I would like to do that. And then as far as accomplishments, I feel like this past week was really good for accomplishments. I, of course, did the trading post, and I got the Ashadar mount. Then I did islands. I've been trying to catch up on my island stuff, and I finally, I've been working on The last two helpers that you like help out in the islands, I finally got them this week or this past week. So that achievement is done. Now I can just spam the islands without having to look for the NPCs, you know. Yeah, it's just a lot quicker now because I don't have that achievement I'm focusing. But more on the topic of, you know, accomplishments. I got 2 mounts out of islands this past week. One was the mount that looks a lot like the collector's edition for Mop. And then the other one was like a bat type mount. The bat one came out of the first box I bought. Because I've been working on getting like everything, right? And I finally bought my last couple of transmog pieces I needed off the vendor. So now we just buy boxes. Yeah, we're finally at just buying boxes. And so the first one got me the mount, and then the panda, like the Mista Pandaria looking mount, that one I actually looted in the islands, which I've been curious if you could still, because it'd been 4 years since I had, right? So that confirmed that you can still loot it in the islands. So yeah. So got 3 mounts. I'm pretty sure that's all the mounts I got. And yeah, so that was my accomplishments. I think we did pretty good. I'm gonna aim for another island mount this week, hopefully. And yeah, we'll have to see. Still killing Nalik, so don't have Nalik yet. I have less characters over there now. Only half my alts are there. When I got to the point where I was like just on Nalik, I decided I wanted to like move my non-ranged characters back over to Rustfeather and Spider Boss. So that's why it's half-half. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Like, I don't care when I loot Nalik, just as long as I do at some point. Yeah. So most of those characters are Horde anyway, and I do nothing on the Horde side. So like I'm kind of okay with them just being parked. So yeah. And that was my week in WoW this past week. So that concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been accomplishing whatever you've been wanting to accomplish in your WoW game. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
I have a story to tell.